Hey, this is Smashcoon, and I'm going to be, in this video, explaining the more confusing parts of the Subspace Emissary. Okay, first off, who exactly is Taboo? Taboo is the embodiment of the subspace that you see throughout the Subspace Emissary. His desire is to cut the trophy world, that is, the world that Mario, everyone fights in, apart and drown it into subspace. He controls Master Hand to lure Ganondorf, Bowser, and Wario to assemble the subspace army, since he can't leave the subspace himself. Now, about the loyalty of the subspace army. Ganondorf pretended to give his allegiance to Master Hand so that he can gather all the power for himself. However, Bowser was sincere, but didn't really care about Ganondorf. Wario didn't care about anything. He just really wanted to do his own thing. As long as he can have that cool gun, you know. Well, anyway, they all did not know about Taboo, needless to say. Now to explain about the ancient minister. To carry out his plans, Taboo needed tools to create his subspace. He'd been watching a floating island called the Isle of Ancients, and he noticed that the technology there was advanced. So he decided to take the entire island hostage, and seeing this, Master Robot, the head of all other robots on that island, agreed to front the subspace army to save his brethren. Okay, now you might be asking, what was the deal with Mr. Game & Watch? I mean, what role did he play? Well, it turns out that Taboo used Mr. Game & Watch's peculiar body traits to create endless supply of shadow bugs, the main source of primids. Mr. Game & Watch was oblivious to what Taboo was doing, therefore did not mean any evil from this. Before any of the events in the Subspace Emissary took place, Taboo took the Halberd Meta Knight ship hostage as a means of transport. King Dedede, while in this ambush, foolishly attacks Meta Knight, not knowing that the subspace army was also attacking Meta Knight at the same time. Though he didn't mean to be allied with the subspace army. So why did King Dedede do what he did? Well, anyway, while fighting Meta Knight, King Dedede saw the power of Taboo's off-waves. He started to think, what would happen if everyone got turned into trophies? He'd be unstoppable. Therefore, he invents a time brooch which will activate the trophy it sits on after a period of set time. In other words, it's a timer. He finds out that the subspace army is also collecting trophies. So, to counteract this, he decides to make a collection of his own. And then last but not least, you might be asking, what was the deal with the Great Maze? Why did I have to go through all that? Well, it turns out that the maze is obviously made up of subspace areas that Taboo made using the subspace bombs. All the dark copy of the fighters were made out from data that the subspace army gathered. Meaning, when you were fighting the subspace army, they secretly collected data on you and created clones of you. Pretty epic. Pretty clever. And that about wraps it up for my segment on confusing subspace emissary scenes. If you have any more questions, just PM me and I'll answer them. This is Smash Coon signing off saying, see ya!